When you won the Oscar in Syriana, the thing that fascinated me, and I didn't know this, you got injured on that set. You hurt your spine, right? There was a scene where a chair gets knocked over. You're tied up to a chair and gets knocked over. And what is it that medically that happened? That you were in so much pain because your spinal fluid was it's really something crazy. What is that?
You have a thing that wraps your spine called a dura. It's like a saran wrap around your spine, and your spine holds all the spinal fluid in it. But spinal fluid is also what your brain sits in.
Yeah,
it's your brain floats right in your head. Well, maybe not in all of our heads, but
not mine.
Some of our heads,
right.
Your brain floats, and it's held up by sort of the pressure of the spinal fluid, and I fell over and I tore my spine, my dura, in two places. About 1.5 inches in one and 1/2 inch in the other. And all the spinal fluid goes out and your brain sinks in your head and it's attached to all these nerve endings. And it's really unbearably painful. And you have to lay down and you can't get up. And I thought I had a stroke, honestly. And I thought, well, I'm stuck. And when we finally got to a doctor, I had to get on a plane and get back to a doctor. And went to a doctor and I had spinal fluid coming out my nose. I thought I had a horrible sinus infection or something happened. And spinal fluid was coming out my nose. And he goes, oh, I know what it is. And then I did a 12-hour surgery on Christmas Eve. You always worry about the doctor you get on Christmas Eve, right? That's not the time you want to go.
Right.
It should have been a 1-hour surgery.
Yeah.
No, I got a 12-hour surgery and then, wrapped it up. And I had to do these things called blood patches where they patch it up all the time. And I did that for years.
The pain of something like that, you must have been going out of your mind. I mean, you've said the pain was so bad, I considered suicide. It was so intense, the pain. It was wrecking your life.
Funny. But it wasn't suicide like, oh, I'm woe is me. In a way, it was more like I just felt like I can't possibly survive like this. I can't, I started by taking, you're taking a lot of painkillers and that's a slippery slope, man, and they'll hand you the tub of Vicodin like this.
Right.
And, you take one and you're like, and you take a second one and then you take a glass of wine and you're like, this shit's pretty good. Right. and then, after a couple of months or a month, I guess, of that, I was like, I'm going to be in real trouble here with this. So I had to just flush them all down the toilet. And then I went to this pain management guy, really fascinating cat who his idea was, he said, look, you have to rethink pain, which is a funny thing. He said, rethink it in the sense that if you were born feeling the way you feel right now, you wouldn't know you were in pain. You would think this is exactly how you're supposed to feel. This is normal. He goes, so you have to, so in a way, the pain you're experiencing is mourning for the way that you used to feel.
Right.
He said, so you have to readjust your pain threshold to go, this is normal, and think of it that way. And then everything will get better. And it did.